I got to ask about Candy. You were 15 when that song came out.
Yes.
I just feel like it was an outstanding, what the kids now would call a bop.
Thank you.
If you would.
I'm honored.
Do you remember the first time hearing your song on the radio?
Yes. I was in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and I was on tour
not
with
far from
NSYNC. Yeah, not far. I was in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I was on tour with NSYNC. I was opening up for them on like a summer amphitheater tour. I was performing on like the outdoor stage, not on the main stage, mind you. Like once you gave your ticket to like the ticket stamper or whatever, and you went through like the turnstile, we were like the tiny little metal stage that they erected right at the entrance there, performing. I had 4 backup dancers. Anyway, it was a time, but we were touring around with them, and I would go visit the radio stations in whatever market that we were in. And I distinctly remember visiting the radio station there and then getting back in the car to go back to the venue and hearing my song on the radio for the first time. It was crazy. I mean, I went from starting my freshman year of high school through a weird confluence of events. I ended up signing this record deal. I left like traditional school and started homeschooling around like the holiday break of that year. Started recording my album, and this was January of 1999. And by that summer, I had recorded my first single, most of the first album, and made a music video, was on tour with NSYNC, then on tour with the Backstreet Boys. And then at the end of the year, my first album went out. So it's like I went from watching all of this unfold on MTV to being on MTV. It was so unbelievably, like, it was just the strangest life to sort of be thrust upon me.
Now, I went down a little bit of a Candy YouTube rabbit hole and watched the performance from all that.
Oh, Kylie, why?
Do you have a favorite time that you've performed live?
Oh, that's so, man, it just feels like it's so long ago, a different lifetime ago. No, not really. I feel like there will be a time perhaps when my children are older and will want to sort of understand the different lives that I've led. And I'm sure we will then go down a rabbit hole, and I'll be able to, but there's so much that I want to shield them from that I'm embarrassed to sort of admit is in the canon somewhere. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that.
Is it a little unnerving to think about all of the things that the kids could unpack from your career with like music videos, or just in terms of like that they are indicative of the times? Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, it's just, I'm 41 years old. I've been doing this since I was 15. So there is a wealth of really embarrassing content out there, you know? I mean, I'm grateful that like Instagram and social media didn't exist as a young person for me, because that would just like compound things. But there's enough ridiculous interviews. In fact, like somebody just posted something recently, and I reposted it on Instagram a couple days ago, of just me like answering a question at some award show. I think it was like, it must have been like in 2000 or something. And I am so confident in what I'm saying, and it's just like a bunch of gobbledygook. Like it was so silly, but I think I've like sort of come around to having a ton of affection for my younger self. And I was just trying to put my best foot forward, but there's a ton of embarrassing things from that time.
Well,
period.
You essentially grew up, like starting at 15, you grew
Sure.
up. Like and I do think that no matter what, your kids are always going to, like, you're always going to be embarrassing to your kids at
Sure.
some point, you know, when they like hit those teenage years. I don't think, like, as cool as you are, and as many people who would like fangirl over like other parents being like, oh my gosh, I listened to Candy this many times, or I saw you on this show, or I was such a fan.
Sure.
And like, that's going to be enough to embarrass them, I would think.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what parents, that's what we're here for.
Correct.
We're here to embarrass our kids. That's what we were put on this earth to do.
Yeah.
It's exciting, honestly.
It's happening regardless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Candy and all of that was around the same time that Britney, Christina, Jessica Simpson were popular. Did you become friendly with any of them? Did you have sort of a relationship or?
Our paths didn't really cross, to be honest. I feel like I was the youngest and the most boring of sort of like out of the four of us. I guess like I just sort of lucked out in this sense that I understood I was sort of my record label's answer to them. But I was allowed to be myself. I was allowed to sort of make my own decisions, even as like a, clueless 15-year-old. Nobody told me how I needed to dress or how I needed to answer questions or, what lane to sort of occupy or how to present myself to the world. So I feel lucky in that sense that I was able to just sort of grow up and be myself, as embarrassing as a lot of that content is now. But I feel like I maybe ran into Jessica Simpson a few times, but Britney and Christina were just like, they were in an echelon unto themselves. Like I would never have been able to like cross paths with them. They were like superstars, and I was just like a little 15-year-old doing my own thing. So yeah, I never crossed paths with them.
I will say my memories, you saying that you were like a less exciting or whatever term you use, that is not my memory of the situation. So you reposting and grilling yourself, it's all of those things. I'm like, well, at the time, I swear those were cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe they were, but yeah, in reflection now, it's.
I think you.
Look, I will give myself credit. I had the good fortune of like, I was on MTV. I got to like help host TRL and kind of work that angle of things. But in terms of like, they superseded this level of success that I've never known. And I feel like is really hard to comprehend unless you sort of were alive then and aware of like this space that those girls occupied in boy bands and like what that pop world sort of was in like the greater scheme of pop culture back then. Like, it's hard to really explain because I feel like social media and the world we live in now, it's like, it's so diluted. We have access to anyone and everyone that we're really curious about for the most part, like at all times. And back then it's like you had to wait until someone gave an interview to MTV or Entertainment Tonight or whatever the like, the platform was. But now we have the means of like being able to connect directly with people via social media or podcasts. Like there's so many more mediums, I think, to reach people yourself and not having to like wait for permission, via some other channel or wait for like, to do like a magazine interview or something. It was such a different world back then. I sound super old now saying that, but it's
no,
true.
You
it's
don't.
just like, it's hard to kind of conceptualize unless you sort of lived that and that was your childhood.
No, that's very much like our generation. And even like the idea of waiting for a magazine interview, you have to think like waiting for that and that being the content you then get to consume about that person. You don't even get to hear you don't even get to hear the inflection in their voice. There's no additional clips. If people do magazine interviews now, it's pushed obviously through social media, but then it also is usually accompanied by either a clip or some type of video component. And it's crazy because now you start to realize that when people can use their own voice more and more, and they're more accessible and putting out more of that content, you really start, which I think is a little bit of a problem, but you start to understand why people think that they know people better, that they know celebrity. They're like, oh no, I know that's not part of her personality. And it's like, have you met her?
You think you know them because you have a little bit more access, but still,
yes. But it is so interesting to think that those were the ways that you were able to connect with people when you started.
Yeah.
And now it has changed so dramatically. I don't think that young kids now realize how, I don't even know if it's lucky, but how different it is and how they really are completely saturated with information about anyone they want to follow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You nailed it.
It's dicey. It's
I know.
dicey.
It's like kind of disconcerting starting, you're like, oh, what are we feeding our children? But
right.
Here we are.
It's this catch-22 of like, it's great because people can speak their minds and be more authentic because they can speak freely and connect the way you're talking about. But then also it's like, do we need that much? That's always my thing. People, my listeners know that I'm always in the proponent of like, do you need to, nobody wants to hear what else I have to say.
We do though. We do.
No, they want to hear this. I mean, I get to talk to incredible people like you. So this is what we do it for.